Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're stepping into one of the darkest illusions a narcissistic woman hides behind her smile. That soft curve of the lips, that gentle warmth she projects, often looks harmless, even comforting. But beneath that smile lies a storm powerful enough to destroy relationships, reputations, and even entire families. And unless you've lived close to her, you might never guess what she's truly hiding. Because here's the truth. The smile of a narcissistic woman is never just a smile. It's a mask, a crafted performance, a carefully shaped illusion designed to hide emotions she refuses to face. While the world sees charm, grace, and confidence, inside her is a simmering rage, quiet, controlled, and perfectly concealed. She smiles not because she feels joy, but because she fears what would happen if the mask ever slipped. Her smile becomes her greatest weapon. It makes people drop their guard. It convinces others she's calm, stable, emotionally mature. But it's a lie she has perfected over years of manipulation. Behind that poised expression is a constant fear of being exposed, a fear that someone might see the cracks forming in her carefully crafted identity. And that fear breeds resentment that grows into rage. Narcissistic rage is not loud at first. It doesn't explode immediately. Instead, it bubbles quietly beneath her charm, gaining strength. You'll see it in the stiffness of her jaw, the forced quality of her laughter, the way her eyes linger too long when she feels challenged. Her smile is polite, but her heart is boiling. She's furious that you dared to see her imperfections or challenged her carefully protected superiority. And that's the terrifying part. She believes she deserves admiration without effort, devotion without commitment, and loyalty without accountability. So when reality refuses to bend to her fantasies, that inner rage begins to take shape. She will smile through her anger, pretending everything is fine. But anyone who knows the psychology of narcissism understands this is the first warning sign: calm on the surface, chaos beneath. If you ever confront her, watch her smile closely. You'll notice it changes. It becomes still, sharp, frozen. She smiles like someone holding a blade behind her back. Inside, she's spiraling with humiliation and resentment, because narcissists cannot tolerate being questioned or criticized. To her, disagreement is betrayal, boundary is disrespect, and the moment she feels threatened, the mask tightens. But she can't show her real feelings. Vulnerability feels like death to her, so she weaponizes kindness, charm, and politeness to keep control. That sweet smile becomes a shield that keeps others from seeing the turmoil underneath. And while she may look composed, her mind is racing, calculating, remembering every perceived slight, cataloging every person who didn't give her the admiration she thinks she deserves. This is the part most people never understand. Narcissistic women don't feel anger the way normal people do. They feel humiliation, shame, and exposure, but interpret all of it as attack. And rather than processing emotions like an adult, they bury it beneath a smile and wait for the right moment to retaliate. Her smile becomes patience, her charm becomes strategy, her silence becomes plotting, and the outward calmness fools almost everyone. They think she's gracious, composed, emotionally intelligent, but those who've been close to her know better. They've seen the sudden shift from sweetness to cruelty, the way she can turn cold without warning, the way she punishes others without ever raising her voice. Her rage is quiet, calculating, and deeply personal, and it always hides behind a smile. So today, we're going to expose what that smile truly means. We'll break down the hidden fury behind her charm, reveal why she disguises her anger with sweetness, and show you how her internal rage shapes every relationship she touches. By the end of this video, you'll never look at her smile the same way again, because behind that gentle expression lies her darkest truth, one she hopes you never discover. Chapters 1. Psychological Breakdown. To understand the rage behind her smile, you must first understand the fragile foundation of a narcissistic woman's identity. Her entire sense of self-worth depends on how others perceive her. She needs admiration the way others need air. And when she doesn't receive constant validation, a deep, consuming panic rises inside her. That panic doesn't look dramatic. It looks like a smile that's held too tightly. Her upbringing often plays a role in this. Maybe she was overly praised for her beauty, or maybe she was ignored unless she performed. Either way, she learned that image matters more than authenticity. So she grew up believing love must be earned through perfection, and perfection must be displayed at all times. That pressure creates a fragile ego, one that cracks with even the smallest touch. And when she feels slighted, when someone doesn't respond the way she expects, her ego reacts instantly. But instead of showing anger openly, she represses it, storing it deep inside. The rage builds quietly, becoming heavier each time she's ignored, questioned, or challenged. Over time, her smile becomes a mask stretched over a volcano of resentment she refuses to acknowledge. Her internal monologue is filled with grievances. Every compliment is never enough. Every conversation becomes evidence that she's unappreciated. Her rage grows from a sense of entitlement. She deserves your praise, your attention, your loyalty. And when she doesn't get it, she feels betrayed. But she can't show that betrayal. So she smiles, pretends nothing is wrong, and plots revenge. This inner rage isn't just emotional. It's strategic. Narcissistic women often weaponize subtle expressions. A fake smile, a dismissive laugh, a polite tone laced with cruelty. These tactics allow her to hurt others while maintaining the appearance of innocence. And because she hides behind sweetness, people rarely suspect her true intentions until it's too late. But the pressure of maintaining this mask takes a toll. She's constantly scanning for threats: who is prettier, who is more admired, who is receiving attention she believes belongs to her. The smile becomes an armor she must wear daily, and like armor, it grows heavy. The heavier it becomes, the deeper her rage buries itself, waiting for moments of weakness to explode. She often envies those who can express emotions freely. People who cry, people who laugh openly, people who admit mistakes. They confuse her. She doesn't understand vulnerability. She interprets it as weakness, and because she cannot show weakness, she becomes envious of anyone who can be authentic. This envy adds fuel to her hidden rage, deepening her resentment toward them. Relationships become her battleground. When she smiles at you, she's assessing your loyalty. When she compliments you, she's evaluating how easily you can be controlled. Her kindness is conditional, her sweetness is tactical, and her smile is the facade she uses to mask her true objective: emotional domination. And the tragedy is this: beneath the rage and manipulation is a woman terrified of being unmasked. She fears the world will discover she's not as perfect as she pretends. So she doubles down on the mask. She smiles harder, laughs louder, performs better. But internally, she's drowning in insecurity, unable to admit she's crumbling. This internal divide between the mask she shows and the rage she hides creates emotional instability that affects everyone around her. And the longer she hides her anger, the more explosive it becomes. Her smile becomes a ticking clock, marking the moments until she finally reveals the fury she's been concealing all along. Chapters 2. The Turning Point. The turning point comes when something punctures her illusion. When you stop reacting, stop feeding her ego, or simply stop caring. This is the moment her smile changes. What once looked charming now looks strained. What once seemed warm now feels cold. The rage beneath the surface begins to leak through the cracks, and she can't hide it the way she used to. She becomes hyper-focused on you. Every silence becomes an insult. Every boundary becomes an attack. She will smile in your face, but her eyes will glare with accusation. She can't comprehend why her usual techniques no longer work. And that confusion quickly transforms into quiet fury. Fury she must hide behind forced politeness. When a narcissistic woman loses control over someone, she experiences a psychological collapse. That collapse doesn't look like tears. It looks like overcompensation. Suddenly, she becomes overly sweet, overly polite, overly attentive. But it's not affection. It's desperation disguised as charm. She smiles harder because she's trying to keep you from seeing she's falling apart. If kindness doesn't work, she shifts tactics. The smile becomes smug, condescending, patronizing. She laughs at things that aren't funny. She dismisses your concerns with a grin. Her rage becomes passive aggression, and she tries to punish you through sarcasm, silence, or subtle jabs, all while pretending she's unfazed. The rage intensifies when she realizes she cannot trigger you anymore. Narcissists rely on emotional reaction. It's how they measure control. So when your indifference grows, her frustration becomes unbearable. She smiles to hide her panic, but inside she's screaming, furious that she no longer owns the emotional strings she once pulled effortlessly. And this is the moment her mask begins to slip. You'll notice it in the slight trembling of her voice, the stiffness in her smile, the way she over-explains herself. She's slipping, and she knows it. Rage is clawing its way up from the place she buried it, threatening to erupt at any moment. Eventually, she can't maintain the illusion. She begins to show flashes of her true self: irritation, bitterness, envy, insecurity. These moments are brief but revealing, and each time it happens, she becomes more terrified that you're seeing the real her, the one she's been hiding behind that smile for years. She'll try to regain control. She might promise change, act charming, or attempt emotional seduction. But the truth is, these efforts are fueled by fear, not love. She doesn't want you. She wants the control she had over you. And when she senses she's losing it, her smile becomes both weapon and shield. But the more she fights to regain power, the more unstable she becomes. The rage she once kept buried is boiling now, pushing against the mask she's desperate to hold in place. And eventually something small, a comment, a boundary, a moment of indifference will cause the mask to crack. When that moment arrives, the smile disappears. For a split second, you see the truth, the raw, unfiltered rage she has carried for years. It's quick, almost imperceptible, but unmistakable, and once seen, it can never be unseen. That is the moment the illusion dies, and the real narcissist finally reveals herself. Chapters 3. The Collapse and Consequences. Once her mask cracks, the collapse begins. She tries to keep smiling, but it's no longer natural, it's forced, mechanical. The rage she's been hiding spills out in subtle ways. She may snap over small things, withdraw without explanation, or criticize you with a smile that no longer disguises the contempt beneath. She begins to feel exposed. Vulnerability floods her system like poison. She can't handle the idea that someone might see her as flawed, so she doubles down on image management. Social media becomes her weapon of choice. Perfect selfies, carefully curated captions, exaggerated happiness. Her smile becomes digital armor. But behind the scenes, her relationships crumble. Her charm loses its power. People notice inconsistencies, manipulation, emotional instability. The smile that once protected her now betrays her. It feels rehearsed, unsettling, hollow. Those closest to her sense the shift, even if they can't explain it. In private, the rage becomes overwhelming. She may punch a wall, break something, or cry in silence. But the tears are not remorse, they are frustration. She's not devastated by losing you. She's devastated by losing control. To her, love is not emotional connection, it's emotional leverage. As control slips away, she becomes unpredictable. Some days she'll be sweet, desperate to pull you back. Other days she'll be cold, punishing you for slipping away from her grasp. She oscillates between charm and cruelty, between smiles and silent rage. Her internal world continues to unravel. She may isolate herself, avoid mirrors, or obsessively check her social media engagement. She's searching for external proof that she still matters. Every unfollow, every unread message, every moment of silence feels like rejection, and rejection fuels her rage. She starts rewriting the story. You become the ungrateful one, the cold one, the villain. This narrative protects her from accountability. She'll tell others that she did everything she could, that she was kind, patient, loving, and she'll smile while saying it, because deception is easiest when disguised as innocence. But deep down she knows the truth. She knows the smile is fading. She knows the rage is consuming her. She knows she's losing the power she once believed she would hold forever. This realization terrifies her more than anything else, because without power she feels worthless. The consequences of her behavior begin catching up. People distance themselves, opportunities fade, relationships fail. She might even look different. Tension etched into her face, eyes colder, smile weaker. Rage leaves marks on the body, as well as the mind. And in these moments, during late nights when the world is quiet and there's no one left to fool, she feels the full weight of her choices. The quiet becomes unbearable. The smile becomes exhausting. And the rage she carried for years finally begins eating her from the inside. Chapters 4. The Final Truth and Healing. Eventually, the narcissistic woman's smile is no longer a mask, it's a memory. She can't hold it the way she used to. The world has changed around her. People have seen through her charm. The admiration she once relied on has thinned. Her power is fading, and her mask is falling apart. Her rage morphs into despair. Not because she misses you, but because she misses the version of herself she was able to be through you. Without an audience, her identity collapses, and when she looks into the mirror now, she sees the truth. The smile was never real, and the rage was always there. But here's the part she never understood. The people she hurt eventually heal, but she remains trapped in the cycle she created. Her rage becomes her cage. Her smile becomes her ghost. She's haunted by the relationships she destroyed and the power she lost. Meanwhile, the person who walked away from her begins to grow. You start reclaiming your peace, your identity, your emotional clarity. Her smile once controlled you, but now it means nothing. Her rage once intimidated you, but now it can't reach you. You've stepped out of her shadow. You begin to notice the difference between authentic connection and manipulation. You recognize red flags faster. You trust yourself more. The healing feels slow at first, but eventually it becomes powerful. Every day away from her brings more clarity and more strength. The truth is, surviving a narcissistic woman's rage doesn't just make you stronger, it transforms you. You begin to understand psychology, boundaries, emotional intelligence. You gain a deeper sense of self-worth, and you finally learn that someone else's rage is not your responsibility. Her story continues without you, but the ending is always the same. She cycles through new people, new masks, new performances, but the rage behind her smile never truly disappears. It follows her everywhere, shaping her life in ways she can't admit. She remains trapped in the emotional prison she built for herself. And here's the ultimate truth. Narcissists don't destroy people who walk away. They destroy themselves trying to keep control. Their rage burns everything they touch, including their own peace. And when the mask finally crumbles, they are left with nothing but the consequences they denied for years. But you walk away with wisdom. You walk away with freedom. You walk away with the clarity she never gained. The journey wasn't easy, but it was transformative. And now when you think of her smile, you no longer feel confusion or fear. You see it for what it always was, a mask hiding her deepest wounds. So let this be your reminder. The secret rage behind a narcissistic woman's smile has nothing to do with your worth. It was never your fault. Her anger belongs to her, and so does her healing. Your only responsibility is to protect your peace, reclaim your power, and never again mistake a mask for love. If this message helped you see the truth, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You deserve clarity. You deserve freedom. And above all, you deserve peace.